Hey, this is the third video in the series. 5 videos with 5 tips in 5 minutes. They're all gonna be longer than 5 minutes, sorry about that. This one is called How to Get Good Gigs. Again, I'm sort of piggybacking on the second video on how to keep a band and how to keep your morale in your band high. This is also just a fundamental in how to get good gigs. Have a fan creation system. There's all kinds of ways in business. They're called funnels, where you have links in your social media to a place where they can get a free song or they can get a free poster to get your email list. I heard one good content creator say that they were giving out stickers. They said, hey, go to this link, give me your email address, we'll send you a free sticker. Cost you a few bucks to send them a sticker. You got their email. That's a great idea. Have some way to capitalize and keep your fans in a database, whether it's a spreadsheet or MailChimp, any place you can aggregate all of your fans so that you can reach out to them. Obviously, once you have followers on Instagram, you post and it goes out hopefully to all of your followers. I mean, that's a great fan creation system. But I'll say it again, email is very powerful too. Messaging is powerful. Texts are powerful. But you have to have a system, you have to stick to it, and you have to adjust it to see what works so that every time you show up to a gig or every time you release a new song or a new album, more and more people are seeing it and more people are interacting with it, buying it, sharing it. So that's number one. Little tip that I learned along the way is that club booking agents, they're passionate about what they do. As they go along in their booking career, they try to find shortcuts in order to eliminate or decrease the work that they have to do, which is perfectly reasonable. Imagine that you're a booking agent, the club owner says, I want to do Tuesday through Friday, 4 bands a night. And you're trying to book 4 bands 4 nights in a row or 3 nights in a row. That's 12 bands, that's 12 interactions. That's a big job, and most of these small club booking agents don't make very much money. And if you come to them, second tip, but very probably my best idea for an up and coming band, is to book the whole night for the club owner. Say, I got 4 bands lined up. Here's the lineup, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We can even backline a lot of the stuff so we don't have to do big changeovers. That's gonna go a long way in the small club world. Some of you may not have a network of that many bands that you could book a whole show out with. I'm lucky that I've been in the business in the Twin Cities for long enough where I know enough bands. If I try to book a small club, I always present them with an entire lineup. Never call a club and say, hey, do you have a slot for us on Thursday? I'll say, hey, I have a whole lineup for Thursday. Most of the time they take it. It's just a great way. That's a hack and it works, and it's more work for you, but you also get to control where you are in the lineup if you're the one booking the thing. The 9 o'clock slot is the best place to play, then you can slot your band in that. So you have control. A lot of times you can handle the money. Take an extra 10, 20% because you booked the gig, and there's nothing wrong with that. Don't let anybody tell you that you shouldn't be paid a little extra for doing the work. That's a big job. Once you've created a fan creation system, tip number 3 is to promote your shows. How do you promote your shows? There's so many different ways to promote your shows. Back in the day, it was going and putting a flyer up at the club. That was probably the best thing that we used to do. Still, I think it's good, because if they're frequenting that club, they're gonna see you. They might tell some friends, hey, it looks like this cool band is gonna be here Thursday. Let's make sure we're here. Social media, it's obvious. You gotta be on social media. Most people ignore social media posts about bands, but there are gonna be the people that are paying attention, and those are the people that you wanna capitalize on. Just make sure you have a system to promote that show. Not only does it help you get more seats filled, it helps show the club owners and the people in the industry, and hopefully you're connecting with people in your local industry or your regional industry or the national industry on your social media, so they can see what kind of a business you have set up. Because even if you're not packing the clubs, but people in the business can see you have a good delivery method in terms of your promotion, that goes a long way, because they can plug into that. If you have a system and a business that's already working and already churning, they can put coal on that fire and help you progress. But if you don't have anything like that, they just think you're just some random guys. They got a bunch of songs and you're just showing up and you're playing, and you're not really interested in the whole business aspect of it. Even if it's not producing seats filled, still keep doing it, because eventually it will, but it shows more than just trying to get people people into the shows. It shows people that you're serious about what you're doing and that you have a presence and that you have a business mechanism. This fourth tip goes along with my second tip, which is book a whole night. You got to know your audience. I'm in my 50s now. Personally, do I think my band is better than it ever has been? Yes, we're making better music than we ever have. But our audience has lives, married, divorced, kids, jobs. To ask them to come on a Tuesday night to a small club at 11 p.m., that's not going to happen. I don't care how good of a band you are if you're local. If you're traveling, take whatever slot you can, and you're an out-of-town band, and hopefully, the promoter knows what they're doing and they can get people in the seats for you. But if you're a local band and it's your audience and it's your fans, book shows that your people want to come to. My favorite type of show is an afternoon show outside at a brewery. I bring my own PA. We play 2 sets and we play from 2 to 4 on a Saturday or even on a Sunday. People show up. People my age, they bring their kids. It's usually nice outside in the summers. People can drink good beer. It's a good vibe. That's been my most successful strategy at my age with my band. Be in control of the whole day. I don't even book a warm-up band. I just have my band do 2 sets. I can mingle with my friends in between sets. I control the sound. Other thing wonderful about breweries is usually they'll give you a ton of beer. I don't personally drink, but the rest of my bandmates do, and they love getting 3 or 4 cases of craft beer at the end of the night. They usually have a decent budget for you too. Breweries typically pay pretty decently, and then they'll do tips as well. And a lot of times if you do bring a lot of people, they'll bump your pay up and they'll throw in another couple cases of beer. It's usually a very, very good strategy. If you're playing clubs, usually people will say, well, the late slot or the middle slot is the headline slot. I always try to get myself on the first slot, even if it's 7 p.m., especially if it's on a weekday. They want to have dinner, they want to come and see your show, and then they want to leave. They want to go home and go to work. Even if it's on a weekend. At my age and my fan base, earlier the better. Every once in a while, I'll play the middle slot because I know that the band before us, their fans are going to like us. They have a certain amount of fan base that'll stick around and at least hear our first couple songs. If it's a band that is similar to us, maybe we're better than that band, they will usually stick around. And then our fans are there too. And then maybe a few of the headliner or the late slot bands will come in and they'll trickle in at the end, and then we get the best slot. I've tried that a few times, it's worked. I've tried it a few times, it doesn't work. What works for me, always earlier the better. Afternoons are better. If you're a band in college and you're in your late teens, early 20s, and you got a lot of excitement for your band, it doesn't really matter. Kids love to stay up late and drink and party. It doesn't matter whether they have jobs the next day. They don't have kids, they don't have a lot of responsibility. Late night is exciting. Know your audience and pick the best slot. This is something I feel kind of embarrassed about because I should know this, but I just learned this in the local region here in the Twin Cities Metro and in the Midwest, is that there are a group of booking agents that only pay attention to certain clubs, and it's not always the clubs you think they're paying attention to. In our region, there are 3 clubs. I won't name them because it's kind of proprietary information at this point through a very, very valuable source that's been in the music business in the region and nationally for a long time. There are 3 clubs that if you play and you do well, the regional booking agents will come to you and say, hey, we want to put you on a circuit. So you got to know what those clubs are. And I'm certain that it's very similar in many, many different markets. And I can tell you, one of the clubs in the Twin Cities that you would think is on that list is not on that list, 7th Street Entry. Playing a show at 7th Street Entry always has its own benefits. It's legendary and it's unbelievably cool, and anytime I get to play there, I would love to play there. First Avenue, Main Room, of course, is another one. Those aren't on those lists. They're looking at these 3 individual clubs. They're kind of holes in the wall. One of them's a little bit less of a hole in the wall than the others, but they're seeing such positive response from bands playing there. Just good quality musicianship is happening there. OGs in the music scene are showing up there. There's kind of a vibe vibe there where wouldn't be surprised if the bass player from Semisonic or the drummer from Soul Asylum or the Paul Westerberg shows up there to catch a show. That's the kind of club that you want to figure out what booking agents are paying attention to in your region and then try to get a show there. Little caveat to that is if the club booking agents know that the regional booking agents are looking at that, so they know that it's a valuable slot, so it may be a little bit harder to get a gig there. Even if it takes more energy to get a gig there and more time, once you land a slot there, it will be 10 times more valuable, especially if you do well, than it is playing any other club in that region. So find your hot clubs in the region and play there as much as you can. Same thing goes. Try and book a whole night. Try to make the booking agent's job easier. This is for bands that are sort of up and coming and trying to make an impact. Maybe you're trying to mostly start out in your city, but you want to eventually do some regional touring. This is some really good advice, and I hope you take it, and I hope it propels your band into the stratosphere. Rock on.